When in Rome, Chapter 3. Molly had her head down as she followed him out of his office. She did not want the other officer to notice her, or whoever else was at the police station. He told her to wait outside and that he would be right out. The sound of a horn in the distance led Molly towards one side of the building. She noticed a train station situated directly behind the police station, as if it was there to filtrate travelers coming to town. What if I just run over there and get into one of the trains outbound, she thought. But getting a room and board held her back. The officer came out in civilian clothes, black t-shirt, black leather jacket, and blue jeans. He drew Molly's attention. "Hop in," the officer said, after he opened the passenger door of his red Fiat, parked behind the station. And as he made sure she put on her seatbelt, he pulled out the parking lot and headed toward the main street, filled with restaurants, bars, and shops. He rolled down the window, sent the leather smell of his jacket to her nostril. She inhaled. "Too breezy?" he asked. "No, it's fine," she replied, and rolled down her side of the window and took a deep breath from the night air. The street lights were dimly penetrating through the trees, but the neon lights from the restaurants and bars were glowing, revealing crowds of people eating and drinking outside the establishments. As they headed north, passing the beach and the park, Molly got a sudden flashback, remembering the unpleasant incidents that led to where she was now. Lost in confusion and uncertainty, she closed her eyes. After a few hundred meters on the road along the beach, he steered his car into a narrow street and parked along the side of a curb next to a two-story apartment. "We're here," he said, and pointed to the gray building. "That yours?" she asked. "Just the second floor," he replied. They climbed up a stairway that ran along the side of the property, facing the street. As he unlocked his door, she hesitated a bit. "Last chance, Molly. You sure you want to do this?" Her stomach started to growl. The first thing she noticed when the light switch was turned on was a long stretch of philodendron hanging along a corner of a wall. "Nice place," she said. "It's okay," he replied it blankly. "Just a studio." "I like it," she reaffirmed, as if she was talking to herself. The room was rectangular, with a gray couch against one of the stucco walls next to the front door. Adjacent was a small wooden table with two chairs, and a few feet from them was a ladder-like stairs that stretched to the second floor, one-third size of the first floor. As she looked up, he said, "That's where I sleep," and then pointed at the couch. "And that's where you'll be staying for the night. It's a pull-out bed. You should be comfortable there." Just as he said that, she wondered where she would be staying tomorrow night. "Thank you," Molly grinned sheepishly. He gestured as he reached his hand to her. "Let me put your bag in storage." She was reluctant for a moment, then gave it to him. As he closed the closet door, he said, "I'm having spaghetti with marinara sauce. Any objection?" "Nope," her stomach growled again. Wolfing down a plateful of pasta while it was still steaming hot, Molly almost forgot to breathe. He grinned as he watched her eat and said, "How long since you arrived?" "5 days ago," she replied, while still chewing. "When did your money get stolen?" he asked, as he lifted up a glass of wine towards his lips. 5 days ago." She was getting annoyed for being reminded of her misfortune. His eyes widened. You mean all this time you... I didn't start it until 3 days ago. She knew what he was thinking. He nodded. She could not tell whether he felt sorry for her or not. So she shrugged as if it was not a big deal, but suddenly her nose felt sore and her throat felt stiff, and she could no longer eat what was left on the plate. I assume you haven't figured out how to get back home, he asked, as he stood up and picked up her plate and his and placed them in the sink. No, I haven't, she said. I thought about hitching a ride back to Rome to find my way to the U.S. Embassy, but I'm not sure if they can help me. She got up, not waiting for any response from him, and walked around the room and went on the balcony. She felt a breeze coming through the trees in front of her and wondered if she could see the ocean in the morning. He joined her with the same glass of wine in his hand and leaned against the metal bar fence adjacent to the glass door. He quietly said, "There may be a chance you can get your ticket replaced." Molly looked at him with a sense of hope. "You mean they can issue me another one? But what about my passport?" "I think so, provided that the ticket has not been cashed out." He finished the wine. "As for the passport, our department can probably make a declaration that indeed your passport had been stolen." She nodded slowly. "Well, don't think about it now," he said. "It's getting late. I need to go to sleep, and you look like you need to as well." She followed him back to the living room, and after he pulled out the bed and gave her a warm blanket and a pillow, Molly lay down and fell asleep instantly.